Hey, gun people. Well, I was gonna stand out there with the boys, but it's just too damn windy out there in the open. So let's talk about, I might stick this on my revolutionary series since I have a feeling we're going to be going to that topic. So it's hell, I don't know, 7 time is it here in Texas, 7:54, and it's about 39 degrees out here. We're supposed to get some, maybe a little rain or sleet or something. It's a few little ice drops are falling, but not much. So let's talk about that video I just did about the Muslims taking over Jersey, wanting them to have a school holiday because they're special and they think they get to come here and dictate how this country runs and destroy freedoms, and the liberals support them. So there's a lot of great discussions in that video about what do we do and where are we going and have we lost it. Man, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think we lost it. I'm sorry. I mean, that doesn't mean we need to give up, and that don't mean we need patriots and we need people prepared, but man, there's just no way to get our government back. People are not going to come together. The government has learned how to divide us, either by sex, gender, race, whatever. They've got so many people fighting, and I fight with them because I just think it's BS, and I don't want to have that shit shoved down my throat. This country is about do what you got to do, but don't impede on other people's freedoms in the name of your freedom. So, and again, that's a fine line, and it's always a balancing scale, but some of the questions is how is this revolution going to kick off? How is this, if there is a revolution, what will happen? Man, I don't think anybody really predicts a revolution. And our first revolution, where this country was established, a lot of people just think it was the Boston Tea Party. But there was a whole bunch more that led up to that. It was a Stamp Act. It was a constant overreach of government. It was taxation without representation. It was overtaxation. It was taking away freedoms of people to make a living because of government involvement and government rules and government authority and government power. And I mean, that's how, if there was anything to learn from that, I mean, 200, 250, they say most, republics last, what, 200 years max? We're way overdue. And I don't know how it's going to kick off. I know when it kicks off, it's probably going to be like most revolutions. You're going to have a few things that spark that outrage, that get people to come out and say, this is it. And for a while, when Lavoy Finnegan they were doing when he got shot and they were doing their standoff, I mean, that was a spark that could have done this. But you know what? They killed that dude in cold blood, and they lied, and the government just showed that if you go against us, we're going to come out hardcore and we're going to kill you. And there's nothing you can do about it, and you'll be dead, and nobody will care after you're dead. Things will go right on as normal. And every time the government learns that lesson, our republic falls more and more to where it's just going to collapse. And I mean, what is collapse? People use that term in the comments. What's collapse? What is it going to take for the government to fail? I think there's a lot of failed governments operating now. I think North Korea is a failed government. They still have the power, they still have the weapons, they still have the food, they still hold down the people, there's still no freedoms, and they can do what they want. So, is that a successful government? Is our government successful? Man, if you ask me to grade them, they are a big fat absolutely failure. And been failing for years. And not any way near on the upstroke of getting better. Every day, every week, every month, they get worse. We get more regulations, we get more rules, we get more gun control. I mean, once they get the guns and everybody's like, oh, when they come for the guns, that'll be it. They've been coming for the guns for years. Since I was a kid, they've been hollering, can't do this. I used to bring guns to school. We used to have guns in our truck. We used to have order guns through the mail. You say that now and people are like shocked. Oh my God, how could you even imagine ordering a gun through the... Because we got a bunch of safety Sally pansies in the country and everybody's been indoctrinated to be scared of guns and to trust government. I just don't get it. So, the question I wanted to kind of approach is it good or bad to be outspoken, or should you be quiet? In my terrorism training, when I was in the military and terrorism starting in Munich, and terrorism was a big thing, and then it drops, and then it comes back when there's a big terrorist attack, then it drops over 5, 10 years, and now 9/11 came back, and terrorism was great, and everybody had to have barriers, and we had all this money for terrorism, and it was great and wonderful, and government expanded, and a TSA, and a Homeland Security, and oh, government's going to save us again. Man, they've been doing that every time they screw up, they fail to secure the country, they bring in illegals, they bring in migration, they bring in people that hate the country, and then when it happens, they use it as an excuse to grow and get more power. The people do nothing. So, and I hate doing this depressing video close to the holidays, but you know what? Reality is reality. You don't have to be depressed about it, just be prepared. I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and the country would be failing, I'd be like, okay, let's go, I'm ready. So, I mean, it's not like I got to run around moping and, oh, I'm going to, you know what? I'm prepared. And I think that's the best thing a patriot can do is be prepared. And when it's time to act, I assume you'll know. So, is it better to be outspoken? Is it better? I mean, you know, the more they try to quiet people down, the more smart people realize, you know what? If they didn't have nothing to fear, why would they be so scared and try to quiet people down? Why would they be suppressive? Why was free speech being knocked down? Why are they trying to intimidate and make rules to stop free press? And YouTube is trying to stop patriotism, and the schools are not teaching real history and patriotism. They're teaching America's bad, and it's always been bad, and it's never done anything good. They're indoctrinating and they're getting people to fall into this false sense of government's good and they'll protect us. And you know, when ignorant people don't know anything else, they only know what they know. I mean, I go back to when I was in the Philippines. There were kids with no shoes living in cardboard boxes in the freaking jungle, and they lived next to the shooting range just so when we got finished shooting, they could go dig out the lead and they could take our brass and they could make things, and they could, I mean, and they were running around and they were happy kids. They didn't have any shoes, they didn't have any clothes, they didn't have a home. And they were scrambling for our brass and stuff, and you know what? They were happy. You know, you complain that you ain't got no shoes till you meet a man with no feet. It just, at what point do we stop talking and stop educating? Now, I think we lost it when we gave our kids to the schools. I mean, public schools is just a dynamic failure. Quota hires, you know, teaching all the crap that has nothing to do with being a strong republic. Our school, man, when I went to school, we were taught, we were taught about come and take it and a flag and how this country was won and how Texas was under many different flags and how we fought and we always remain free and freedom's important and you must maintain constrictions and restrictions on government. You can't let government grow. I remember being taught that. It was like, and I was like, you know, a young dumb kid like, what is government? Who cares if they grow? Whatever, you know, because that's when you're young, you just don't see, and then over 10, 20, 30 years as you get older, it's like, holy shit, man. It's so important to educate your kids on this country and freedoms and how easily freedoms are taken. Government doesn't give you, you ask most people and they say they get their freedoms from government. They think government allows them to drive. You need a license to drive from the government. You need a license to carry a gun from the government. You need a license from the government to get married. You need a license to teach school from the government. You need a license to do anything from the... And it's like people are like, oh, well, that's normal. That's what government does. They give you permission. Man, when I was growing up, it just wasn't that way. Government worked for the people, and people didn't like the government. The government knew it. They didn't let the government grow. They tried to keep it small. And you know what happened? Freaking liberalism in the big, huge cities where people don't care and they just want shit free and they want government services. And pretty soon they get the population, they get the vote, they start electing, and now the whole damn country. It's just... It's disgusting to think about and talk about, but like I said, hey, I wake up in the morning and there's no electricity, the internet's down, EMP, government failed, the dollar went down, the dollar's dropped, everybody's value dropped in half. No, you know what? I'll be like, okay, it's on, let's go. And people will be like, well, you should care. You know what? Caring doesn't change anything. Feeling bad or good doesn't change anything. Until people decide to act and stop this government and say enough's enough. And unfortunately, people are like, well, violence never solves anything. That's bullshit. Violence always solves. What do countries do? The only way they get their way and do things is through violence. It's just like, what do cops do when they show up? Oh, they shouldn't use violence. They use violence all the time because that's what you do. Violence is the answer when nothing else works. Well, you have to try, Rick. I'll have some freaking liberal here getting his pink lollipop licking it going, oh, he's talking about the government. He's a crazy conspiracy. Freaking idiot. You're just living in such a la-la land. It's kind of sad how stupid you are. I just look at a liberal and I almost feel sorry for them because they're pathetic and they can't think and they don't realize the damage that they're destroying long term. So, back to my terrorism, I got off topic there. On whether you should be outspoken or not. Man, that wind's kind of whipping around now. It was coming straight from the north and it's coming this way. So if you're getting speaker noise, hey, save the freaking comments. I don't give a shit. So, in terrorism, they used to teach us about sleepers and heavy sleepers. Some people would call them light sleepers. Normally, the term that we were teaching and what we taught were there was a sleeper and then there's a heavy sleeper. A sleeper is somebody who nobody really knows that he's there for the cause. And when things go down and shit hits a fan, the sleeper comes out from the shadows and engages. Is our country full of a lot of sleepers right now? Man, I know everybody's going to be like, there's more of us than them, there's more Rick keeps up. And I agree. The people that watch me and that talk, we're pretty much like-minded on a lot of things. There's quite a few of us in one little area, but there ain't nothing. We got 330 million people. What percentage do you think? Remember, an armed society, it only takes 3% to overthrow the government. Now, is overthrowing the government the best? Unfortunately, when countries go down, that's what liberalism doesn't teach. When you want all this socialism and free stuff and taking stuff from the working class, and you live on the wealth of people that worked hard, that had morals, that know what country and freedom is about and understand what hard work is and how to appreciate something when you give it, when you keep taking from those people and give to the people that think they're entitled and the government owes them and they don't have to work for anything and they don't appreciate everything because everything is either given to them or they steal or take from somebody, when you get more of these people than these people, it's failure. It can't, it's like having a bank account worth $1,000 and saying, you know what, I got $1,000, I'm living high on a hog, I'm successful, and I'm going to give $10 to everybody that wants it. You're going to be out of money here pretty quick, and then what? You're going to be one of the people at the bottom saying, give me, give me, give me, and it just can't sustain. I just don't, to be honest, I don't know how the country lasted this long, but actually I do. The government's just printing more damn money. We got away from the gold standard. The money ain't worth nothing. The paper it's written on, it's all a big scam. And when the dollar falls out and everybody think they're rich and they got all this money, and then all of a sudden it ain't worth half, and people are burning money to stay warm. Rick, that can't happen. Okay, go visit Venezuela. See how that worked out for them. They were socialists, great liberalism, people cheering. Liberals here saying it was the greatest country in the world. Okay, Cuba. It's just ridiculous how the liberals are so upside down on their belief. But, so is it good to be a sleeper? I've got 3%er and Milan LeBay on my truck. Milan LeBay, come and take it. Is that bad? Some people will say, yeah, now you're giving away your hand. You're showing your hand. In poker, you don't want to show your hand. Well, my philosophy is if more people did that, maybe instead of just saying there was more of us than them, you would be able to drive around and see. I mean, when there's elections and I see a whole bunch of Hillary stickers, I'm kind of bummed. It just makes me sick. I used to drive around California and see all the liberal left crap, and I'd be like, it was just disgusting. It turned my stomach to think of all the ignorance that was voting for Obama and Hillary. And I mean, I'm not saying the Republicans are great, and that's what everybody wants to argue. Oh, you're just a Republican. I'm not saying they're great, but they're a hell of a lot slower path to destruction than the liberals. I mean, the liberals is a fast track, but you can't tell them that, and then they're going to turn around and say fake news and this and that and whatever. And yeah, okay, whatever. I got to say that now because I know it's irritating. People say it's the most irritating phrase in my news. So is it good to be a sleeper or a heavy sleeper? Now, in terrorism, a heavy sleeper is somebody that's down for the cause, but he's there basically to make sure that the cause doesn't fail. So he's only going to come out if there's failure. He'll let mistakes happen. He'll let people get killed. He will sit there. He might have a trigger on a bomb, and if they fail at everything else, he'll blow up the bomb, and they don't even know it. He's going to kill all the so-called terrorists or fellow patriot. You know, one man's patriot is another man's terrorist. So it all depends on what side of the fence you're standing on how you call somebody. That's why when our government starts talking about all these other countries that we have to be in, we have to go save, we have to be the world police, we have to spend millions of dollars to go to these other countries and blow up innocent people and kill them and drone them and do all this crap in the name of we're protecting them from their terrorists. Because we get to decide who's a terrorist, who isn't. Because people that want freedom in this country is a domestic terrorist, and people that want to live on the liberal left and take everything and grow government and give government power, well, they're the good people. So, are you a sleeper or are you a deep sleeper? I mean, to me, either way is good. As long as you're down for the cause and you know when it's time to act, you need to act. And, you know, people want to ask me when and what can we do? Man, just be prepared. I mean, gun sales ought to be quadruple of what they are. Everybody ought to have more guns. I mean, as many guns as you can afford to have. Yeah, I mean, guns and ammo, I'm telling you, those with guns and ammo will always take from those without guns and ammo. I don't care what the liberals tell you about, no, that ain't true. You look at any liberal city and any riot in any major liberal city run by the left, and usually the riots are, I might as well get called a racist at least once in a video. It is normally one color in this country. If you look at the cities that are being looted and fires started and burned down, and guess what? The people with guns do better than the people without guns. And the government always has guns, and they always do better. Rick, you can't, that's lawlessness, that's vigilante. You know what? Hey, I'm just telling you. So be prepared. If you're a sleeper or not sleeper, is it good to talk out? I don't know. Is it good to show our numbers? I think it kind of is. Is there downsides to showing your numbers? Sure. Is there a time when you don't want to show your numbers? Probably. I mean, if shit hit the fan, I don't know if I would be the same. I mean, I don't want to draw attention, especially if I'm out on my own or I'm moving in a small group. I may not want to draw attention. I want to accomplish my mission. Either go get food, go get gas, go take out a threat. I want to do my mission and get back without contact. Now, if my mission is to go out and harass and destroy and to snipe and to take out things, well then that's my mission. And then we'll go out and we'll do that. But mission focus is big. If you're not in the military, you haven't had any military training, establish your mission and try to stay on mission. When you get distracted from your mission, then you have a plan for those sub-distractions. And everybody's like, man, you always get distracted with your videos. I do. But I don't come out here with a straight focused mission that this is the thing. I've got very short videos for that. But as I talk, so when we're moving from point A to point B on a mission, the mission has priority. And that's what we want to do. If the mission is worth planning and worth doing, then it's worth carrying it out and completing. So when you're out on a mission, you need to stay focused. Now, can you avoid enemy contact sometime? No, you can't. And if you come across a high value target, should you take him out? If that mission is higher than the mission you're on. If I'm out to go get intel and I run across a high value target that I think I can really hurt the enemy by stopping or taking out this person, then the mission may change and we may take him out and scrub the mission for another day. But normally that's not ideal, because if we knew where that person was and we could plan it and we could get distractions out there and have multiple forces and layers of protection and ways to fall back and all the other tactical stuff, that would be better, and the likelihood of us completing the mission and getting away would be higher. But, you know, hey, I think the Revolutionary War or the Civil War was fought by hit and run. And if you go to any terrorist, that's what they do. When they're fighting a stronger force, you can't go toe-to-toe or you'll lose. So this honor and crap about going toe-to-toe and being up front and having honor, BS. You gotta, if you're in a fight where you can lose your life, you need to fight to win. And you need to do what you need to do to win. And if you're going against a stronger force like a government, going toe-to-toe to them, you ain't gonna win. They've got the technology, they got the advances, they've got the unlimited resources, they got the unlimited money, they got the government power backing, allowing them to do whatever they want. I mean, you just can't go toe-to-toe with a stronger force. So, I guess, I don't know, I was just kind of thinking about all this when I looked at that damn Muslim video where they're demanding shit, and I'm just like, man, we've lost our country. And then I was reading the comments, and everybody's asking, you know, kind of what? And I'm kind of like, man, I'm not sure there's an answer. I mean, I'm sure there's videos that say, but I think when things go down, it's going to be small forces that are going to win the war. It's going to be small groups of 2 or 3 that are just going to go out and hit targets and make the enemy, whoever it may be, whether it's our government or a foreign government that takes over, it's just going to be harassing, interfering with their ability to carry out their operations, and interfering and stopping their ability to operate in a safe, controlled environment. And it'll be the 2 or 3 guys that go out there and snipe and hit and sabotage and blow up a few cars or gas or whatever it is. Gas. I don't know why people crack on the way I say gas. G-A-S. As, gas. I don't think I say it. Everybody's cracking on the way I say gas. Whatever. So I digress. So anyway, carry on, guns and ammo, food supplies, have fallback locations, know who your friendlies are, and you know, should we publicize who we are and how many there is of us? I don't know. Maybe it'll keep the spirit up. Maybe it'll motivate some people. I don't think there's that many, but like I said, I don't care. I'm old, you know, that's why you don't want to mess with too many old people. They kind of live their life. They've been there, done that. They may not have many more years. What the hell? If I got to go out, I'm going to go out fighting in my way. So, cheers. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And always be prepared is all I can say. I mean, you just never know. Good old Texas flag. Hopefully it's the last stand, but I think there's too many liberals. We already lost Texas. We lost the country. Hi, boys. They're finishing up their little food. All right, we'll end that there. Put this on the Revolutionary. I don't know what the hell I'll call it.